Alright, hey guys, Detector here. So today's video is going to be some metal detecting randomness. I'm going to be talking about some things that you guys sent me in the mail, and we're also going to be using my metal testing kit to test the ring and the necklace that my husband found last weekend. So let's get to some metal detecting randomness. So the first things I want to show you guys came from a good friend who is also a viewer and a subscriber. He goes by the handle Hard Yakka. I'm sure a couple of you guys have interacted with him before. And he sent me a couple of magazines, so I'll show them to y'all here. So now all three of these, there's three of them. You can see them here. All three are from the Australian Gold Gem and Treasure. And they're from a couple of different years. So this one here is from October of 17. And then I have this one here. And this one is from 2013, it's their annual. And then the last one here is from September of 14. The reason he sent these to me was because he said that there were some really good articles in them, so I'm super excited to read them. I don't generally read a whole lot of metal detecting magazines, not because I don't want to or anything, but honestly, outside of having a subscription, you can't really find them at like Walmart or the Publix or anything like that. You can't find them over in the book section. So now that I have a couple of magazines, I will definitely be reading all of the articles in them. I'm super excited to do that. So thank you, Hard Yakka, for the magazines. He also sent me some Australian money. So now here, I've got two pieces here. I've got a coin and a dollar, or not a dollar bill, but a $5 bill. So this first one here is their older $5 bill. If you look down in the bottom right-hand corner, that is actually see-through. So here's a picture of it with my finger behind it. And then now here's pictures of their newer $5 bill. And this one has a huge section that you can see through. They have some really interesting money. And then here is a picture of the coin that he sent me. And it is 1 shilling and it's dated 1936. And then here's a picture of the other side. So thank you, Hard Yakka, for the magazines and the $5 bills and also the coin. So the next thing I got in the mail was from a gentleman called Ed Huffman, and he is actually the owner of Treasure Mountain Metal Detectors. So Ed contacted me and said that he watches my videos along with a couple of other people, of course, who doesn't. So he contacted me and asked if I would allow him to put my videos on his webpage, which I said of course, because I love for people to be able to watch my different hunts, see the different machines that I'm using, and also see if I find anything amazing. So I told him yes, and he said for letting him post my videos on his webpage, he would send me a t-shirt. So here's the t-shirt that he sent me. So that's a picture of the front, and here's a picture of the back. I think it's great to be able to see the little skeleton guy with all the gold and the rings and the necklace kind of all wrapped around his skeleton hands. So if y'all are interested in checking out Ed's webpage, I have the link to it in the description just down below. Make sure to check it out. He does have several different YouTubers on there. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is test the ring and the necklace that my husband found. Alright guys, so here is my metal testing kit along with my diamond tester. Now let me zoom in and show you guys all of the acids that I have. Alright, so starting from the left, the black cap is to test for platinum. The blue cap is to test for 22 karat gold. Red cap is 18 karat gold. The green cap is 14 karat gold. The yellow cap is 10 karat gold. And then the white cap is silver. So now over here, I have a piece of paper that came with the testing kit. And let me zoom out a little bit. There you go. So it tells you how to test for it. It tells you gold, silver, and platinum testing instructions. And then it just kind of pretty much tells you what you need to do as far as start with the lowest gold testing acid and then work your way up. And then it also shows you how to do platinum and palladium testing. And there's a couple of different things that you can do to test the base metal determination. So now you can see right there, base metal determination, that you can use the 10 karat gold solution on the metal and then watch to see what the color changes to, so you can figure out what the base metal is if it's not gold or silver or platinum, something like that. So you can kind of get a good idea of what metal, you know, whatever piece of jewelry is that you found. So I have used this numerous times and I'm so glad that it came with the kit, honestly. So back to the acid. So right here, this little square item right here, this is the stone that you put either the metal shavings on, or you can just rub your piece of jewelry right on it, and then that's where you put the acids to test it. And then there's also a file that came with the kit, and you can use that again to get some metal shavings off of like the ring or whatever your piece of jewelry is. And then a couple of you all asked what my diamond tester was, and it's a diamond selector 2. So let me take it out of the box and show it to you guys so you can get a close-up picture of it. So this is it, and this is just a cover that goes on the tip of it so you don't mess up the end. So we'll cover that up. So that's the front, and then here's the back. So because a couple of you guys asked me, you know, what brand is it, where'd you get it from, things like that. So now, I actually bought the diamond tester and the acid testing kit off of eBay, but I know not too many people feel very safe buying from eBay, so what I've done is I've included a link to Amazon for the acid testing kit and the diamond selector. For those of you who don't really feel like buying off of eBay is super safe or secure, you have the option of getting it from Amazon instead. Alright, so I have my necklace and my ring here ready to go to be tested, so let's go ahead and start testing it. I'm going to start with the necklace first. Okay, so here is my necklace. Now, I don't really think this is going to be silver, just because there's a little bit of tarnishing right here on the edge. So because of that, I don't think this is going to be silver, but we'll go ahead and test it to see if it is silver. Now, there's two ways you can do it. So now I could either take this and scratch it right onto the stone, or I could get my file and file off enough shavings to put it here on my stone and then put my acid on it. Me personally, I'm just going to scrape off a little bit onto my stone directly instead of filing it down. So I'm going to find a nice part of it that isn't tarnished or anything that I can get a nice good scraping off of. So we'll go ahead and do it right here on the side. So I'm just doing some good amount of pressure, and I'm checking it to see if I can see that little coppery color underneath it or not. So it looks like it's starting to show just a little bit. So whatever this is, it's plated. Just trying to get a little bit more. There. All right. So it might be hard to see in the camera, but there's a little marking right there, and that's what I'm going to put my acid on. All right, so we're going to use the silver acid. Okay, and so on the directions it says scratch the object on the test stone, which we did. Apply a scratch with your object to be tested. Okay, same thing. Drop silver testing solution online and watch for reaction. So now the testing solution will turn a color based on what kind of silver, if this even is silver. So now if it's bright red, then it's 0.999 silver. If it's dark red, then it's 0.925. If it's brown, then it's 0.800 silver. And if it's green, then it's 0.500 silver. So we'll go ahead and take our solution. We'll just do a little drop right on there. We'll get one more. There. So now I'm watching it for a reaction. And I'm not actually seeing any kind of reaction. So it looks like it has completely eaten up the marking. And I'm just spreading it a little bit farther onto some more scratches there. and it looks like it's eating it up. Like it's not even giving me a color. So it's definitely not silver. There's no reaction there, so let's go ahead and wipe that off. Alright, so now we know it's not silver. There's no marking left. So whatever it is, it's not silver because the acid ate right through it. So now let's try and see if we can figure out what the base metal is for it. So I'm going to find another spot here on my necklace, and we're going to do another scratching. We'll adjust it a little bit and do a little bit more. There. Alright, so that's a nice good scratching there. And you should be able to see it. There you go, right there. Alright, so now to figure out what our base metal is, we're going to use the 10 karat solution, which is the yellow one here. And it says 10 KT on there. Alright, so to approximate the base metal content, drop some 10 karat solution on the metal and watch for color reactions. So according to these directions, it says dark brown means it's brass. Brown means it's copper, blue means it's nickel, yellow is lead, which I hope it's not yellow, and then it also has yellow is tin. So it could be lead or tin if it turns out to be yellow. Alright, so let's go ahead and drop some onto our scratching here. There. Alright, so now we just wait for a reaction. I'm not seeing anything yet. I'm not seeing any kind of reaction, but it is eating up the scratching. So there is no color here. And I'm just moving some of that acid onto some more of the scratching. So yeah, honestly, I'm not seeing any kind of color change here. But it's eating up the scratching for sure. It's just clear, like as if it was water. No color at all. And all of our metal has been eaten up. So I have no idea what kind of metal that is that's coating that necklace, but it's not it's definitely not silver, and I don't think it has any of the brass, copper, nickel, lead, or tin in it. So let's wipe that one off. So unfortunately, that leaves us with no idea what kind of metal is coating our little pendant here. Now I know for a fact that the chain isn't anything. It's probably just stainless steel, if anything. There's no markings on it, so it's nothing fantastic, and the clasp here is tarnished, and as you saw in the picture of the back side of the necklace, it's got some tarnishing on it as well. So we don't really know what it is, but it's still pretty to look at, so that's alright. Alright, so let's move on now to our ring. So now this ring is marked 14 karat gold. We tested the diamond in the last video, and it is a real diamond. So inside it says 14 karat Libco, and then it looks like there's a number 2 on it. So according to the directions, we should start with the 10 karat acid and then work our way up to whatever the marking happens to be, which for us is 14. So let's go ahead and do some scraping. So I'm going to scrape the side here instead of like on the actual band. I'm just going to do a little scraping on the edge here. Alright, so that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and do another scraping right next to it, because I'm pretty sure the 10 karat isn't going to have any reaction, and then we'll just be able to move on to the 14 karat. There. Hopefully y'all can see those. There you go. Yeah, right there with the light hitting it. Perfect. So we've got our 2 scrapings here. So let's go ahead and start with our 10 karat again, which is the yellow. Alright, so we'll go ahead and drop our acid right here onto our first scraping. There we go. Alright, so now we're just going to wait and see if anything happens. So now it says if the scratch dissolves completely, the object is less than 10 carat. If the scratch remains, apply the 14 carat solution, and then you just keep working your way up. So let's see if I can get the light to hit it. Well, you can't really tell because it's wet, but I'm looking and my scratching is still there. So let's go ahead and move it around a little bit. Yep, the gold is still there. Alright, so we'll go ahead and just dab that off. And let's see if I can catch the light again there. See? You can still see it's still there. A little bit of it got wiped off when I wiped off the acid, but the gold is still there. Alright, so now let's move on to the second scratching here. And we'll go ahead and get our 14 karat solution, which is the green. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put a couple of drops right here. Okay, so now we're just going to watch and wait and see what happens. So now again, if the scratch dissolves and the object is less than 14K, so we'll give it a couple of more seconds, and the gold is still there. You can still see it under the liquid, and it's clear, so you can see it pretty easily. Alright, so let's go ahead and dab that off. And now what we'll do is we'll bump up to the next solution, which would be the 18 karat. So looks like I wiped off most of my gold from that one, so we'll go ahead and do another scratching, and then we'll jump up to the 18 karat, and then you'll be able to see what I mean. So again, I wiped most of it off. It was right here. This is still from our 10 karat testing here. So we'll give it one more wipe, just so we make sure we have a nice clean surface. We'll do another scratching right over here. There. Alright. So there you go. There's our third scratching. We're going to go ahead and put the 18 karat, and that's in red. Now I've never used the 18 karat, so it actually still has the plastic on it. There. Alright. So I've got my plastic off, so let's go ahead and open this. And then we'll go ahead and put it on our third scratching. Now this acid should eat it right away. There shouldn't be anything left because this is the 18 karat acid, and our gold is, according to the stamping, only 14 karat. So we'll just wait a little bit. Now it has gone from being a gold color to being a black color, our scratching. I'm just kind of moving our acid around a little bit. So now it's probably hard to tell in the camera, but our scratching went from about here to up here, and I put the acid just on half of it, and our acid, which here it is clear like water, is now turning yellow. So that's because it's eating the gold, because the gold is only 14 karat and we're testing it with 18 karat, so it's going to eat it. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and wipe off this little bit here. And I'm just being real careful not to get it on the bottom half of our gold scratch. Okay. So there, let me try and catch the light. So I think that's about as good as it's gonna get right there, possibly. Yeah, alright. So again, our scratch went from about right here to up here. I put the acid right up here and it's completely gone. And I didn't have to rub it. I just put the paper towel on there and just let it soak up the acid. I didn't rub it, and you can see that our gold up here is completely gone. Alright, so that's how you use the acid testing kit. to test any kind of jewelry that you find. Now normally using the 10 karat acid to test to see what the base metal is works. I have used it before and I have found some jewelry that I believe the base metal it turned blue, which means that it's nickel. And I want to say that I've had one where it turned a reddish color or like a dark brown color. So it ended up being brass. So that's how you test your jewelry. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I want to say thank you to Hard Yakka for sending me the magazines and the Australian money. I also want to thank Ed Huffman for including me in his webpage and for sending me that amazing t-shirt. I have links to the acid testing kit as well as the diamond tester in the description located just down below if you're interested in getting a kit of your own or a diamond tester of your own. They're not that expensive and it's definitely a great tool to have on hand. So if you're interested in those, make sure to check that out. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them in the comment section located just down below. If you liked what you saw in today's video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel yet, please make sure you do so by hitting the little subscribe button located just down below, and make sure to turn on the notifications so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. Alright guys, so thank you Hard Yakka for the magazines and the dollar. So now, the reason he sent these to me was Thank you for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys later.